Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my continuation of my book reading of Dangerous Game. Chapter 5 Good Games and Bad Games. In the past 5 years, until the present time, I've continued to play games with Polly. I've played every night. We played good games and bad games. I've already described the good games. They're very simple and always fun. I'm happy when I'm playing good games, but I'm sad when I'm playing bad ones. In what way is a good game different from a bad game, you will ask? Well, I've already described a few bad games. Perhaps you've noticed that in a bad game there are no rules. Anything can happen. And another thing, when I'm playing a good game, I'm never afraid. But when I'm playing a bad game, my heart is full of fear. The bad games are like an evil message. I want to describe some of the games in the past 5 years. At the beginning, at the time of that game of chess with Lewis, we didn't play many bad games. But after a time, we played a good game one night and a bad game the next night. This was true until 2 years ago. And this is when I began to worry. Worry and fear were always present in my life. Why did Polly begin to play bad games? I often ask myself this question, and I've never been able to explain why. I've thought of many different reasons. Perhaps you can think of a few reasons, but it isn't easy to be sure. At first, I thought Polly was jealous. Perhaps she was jealous when I won a game, so I decided to lose for a time. But he still wanted to play bad games. Perhaps Polly wanted to punish me. Why did he want to do that? I thought about this a lot. Perhaps Polly was angry because I told Lewis about him. But I didn't tell Lewis anything. Lewis thinks Polly is a character in one of my detective stories. He doesn't know he's a ghost, a poltergeist. And the bad games began a long time before I said anything to Lewis. Who is Polly? I often thought about this too. If I learn the answer to this question, perhaps I'll have the answer to my first question. Why does he want to play bad games? But I can't find the answer. I often ask myself, is Polly the ghost of my dead wife? Is Polly really Julie? I think the answer to this question is no. Polly has never given me any sign. For example, there's a photo of Julie on my bedroom wall. Polly has never taken it or moved it. I've kept one of Julie's dresses. It's a beautiful party dress. It's in my wardrobe. Polly has never touched it. He often takes my clothes out of the wardrobe. If Polly is Julie, he or she can easily give me a sign. Julie loved me and I loved her. So I don't think Polly is Julie, but I'm not really sure. Is Polly just part of my imagination? No. 1,000 times no. Why? Because all these things really happen. I don't imagine them. They are facts. Polly exists. Little by little, Polly and I played more and more bad games. Then I began to worry. I only want to play good games. How could I escape bad ones? I tried to escape them in a number of ways. I'll describe some of these ways to you. I always know when we're going to play a bad game. I can feel evil in the air before the game begins. Then there's one thing that I always try to do. I try to pull the plug out and put it back immediately. And this way, Polly doesn't have time to play. He goes away when the plug goes back in. Polly was surprised when I first did this. It worked very well, but now he stops me. He knows when I'm going to try. Here's another way I've tried to escape bad games. Remember, Polly only haunts my bedroom. He never haunts other parts of the house. I tried to sleep in other rooms in my house, but I can't escape a bad game like that. One night, I slept in my study. I had a strange dream. I dreamt that I was sleeping in my study. In my dream, I got up and went to my bedroom. I sat in my own bed and read a book with the light on. In my dream, I pulled the plug out, and then suddenly I woke up. And I wasn't in my study when I woke up, but in my bedroom. I was reaching over the side of the bed. The plug was in my hand. I walked to my bedroom in my sleep. Polly did this. He pulled me back to the bedroom through my dream. I tried another thing. I tried not to play the game. One night, I sat in bed with the lights on. Then I turned the lights off from the switch. Of course, this is always the rule. Polly didn't appear. I went to sleep easily, but during the night I suddenly woke up and switched on the light. And I don't know why, I had to. Then I pulled the plug out and the game began. This happened a number of times. You will ask me, why don't you sell your house and go away? Well, I asked myself this question too. The fact is, I can't. I often thought about it, but I can't do it. I've tried another thing. I've left my house at night and gone to a hotel, but when I do this, I can't sleep. I always leave the hotel during the night. I pay the bill at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and go home. It isn't easy to leave a hotel at 4 in the morning. Try it and see. After that, I go to bed and play a game with Polly. So you see, I can never escape a game. Polly always finds a way to bring me back to my bedroom. Until a year ago, we often played a lot of bad games, but Polly never touched me in any time. I often tried to touch him, but he never touched me. This was a kind of rule. I can't describe my fear when Polly first touched me. It all happened one night about a year ago. I went to bed at 11 o'clock. And I knew it was going to be a bad night and not a good night. I could feel it. I could sense it. I read for hours because I didn't want to pull the plug out. In the end, I was very sleepy, but of course, I couldn't sleep. I reached over to the side of the bed in my usual way and pulled the plug out. Immediately, my eyes were wide open, and I was awake. Polly was there, and we were ready for the game. During a bad game, Polly doesn't always give me a clear sign of his presence, but that night he gave me a very clear sign. I lay in bed in fear and waited. Nothing happened for a minute, and then the bed began to move. Polly wasn't shaking the bed, he was lifting it off the floor. The bed moved into the air. I reached over the side and tried to touch the floor. I tried to find a plug, but I couldn't reach the floor. The bed was, I think, about a meter above the floor. Then the bed began to turn around, slowly at first. It went round and round and round, first slowly, then faster and faster and faster. And suddenly it stopped in the air and dropped to the floor quickly. It touched the floor lightly. I was in its usual place. The head of the bed was against the wall with the bedside table next to me. I tried to reach the plug. I touched the floor with my fingers and found it. I tried to pull it back, and then Polly hit my hand sharply. I dropped the plug in fear. For the first time, he touched me, and he hit me. I lay back in bed. The room was quiet. The bed didn't move. Then I felt something above my head. It was like a bird. I put my hand above my head, and there was nothing there. Then something touched my hair lightly, like a soft hand. Fingers went lightly through my hair. I jumped out of bed and ran to the other side of the room. I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around, and Polly was behind me. I turned around again and again, but Polly was always behind me. Then he hit me in the face. Then he began to push me. He gave me a little push at first. He pushed my face softly. After that, he began to push my arms and legs very hard. I kicked and shouted, but I couldn't stop him. I jumped back into the bed, and you will never believe it, Polly bit my face very hard. I cried out in pain. I reached over to the side of the bed and touched the floor. I touched it wildly to find the plug. At last, the plug was in my hand. I tried to find the socket. I touched the wall with my fingers, but in my fear, I couldn't find it. Please, I shouted. Where is it? Where is the socket? Someone or something tried to pull the plug out of my hand, but in my fear, I was stronger than Polly. I pushed the plug in hard. The light came on, and suddenly I was alone. I cried. My heart went wildly, and my body shook in fear. That was a very bad night. It was the first time that Polly ever touched me. After that, he often touched me. Sometimes he touched me softly with his fingers. Sometimes he pushed me, hit me, or kicked me. It wasn't just a bad game now. It was a dangerous game. We began to play more and more bad games. I've already told you that, but the number of bad games and good games was the same. That was true a year ago. But after Polly touched me the first time, something changed. We never played another good game. During the past year, we played only bad games every night. All of our games are bad, but they're not all the same. Some are just bad. Others are very, very bad and very dangerous. Polly has become completely evil. He only shows me the evil side of his character. My bedroom is an evil place. It's evil in the daytime. It's evil when Polly isn't there. It's evil all the time. What can I do? I don't know. I just don't know. Until a month ago, I was alright during the day. I went to my study every day and wrote. This took my mind off Polly. I thought of new adventures for Filbert Wiley, and I enjoyed doing it. But during the past month, I haven't been able to work. I still come to my study every day, but I sit at my desk, look out of the window, and I don't write anything. I sleep very little. Eat very little. I'm thin and weak, but today I'm writing. I'm writing these words. I'm writing quietly, quickly, before it's too late. I have to write the story of my life with Polly before it's too late. You will ask, why don't you tell Lewis about this? Lewis still comes on Wednesdays and we still play chess. I never play chess well now, and he always wins. I'm always tired and worried. What's the matter with you, William? Lewis asked last week. I can't understand. You're ill. You must see a doctor. I'm worried about you. If you don't call a doctor, I'll call one. Of course, Lewis mustn't call a doctor. Listen, I said. I know I'm not very well, but I'll be better soon. I'm writing a very strange story about Filbert Wiley. I'll be better when I finish the story. I know I will. So please, don't call a doctor. Do you promise? All right, William, Lewis said. I promise. Lewis is a good friend, and I know he'll keep his promise. Have I tried to tell Lewis about Polly? Yes, I have, many times. But every time I try, I can't speak. I tried to ask Lewis to stay in the house with me for a night, but again, I can't. When I try to open my mouth, I can't. Then I always hear that knock-knock from the room above. I always hear a message from Polly. The words, "It's our secret," come into my head. Perhaps a real voice speaks these words. Perhaps it's Polly's voice. It speaks kindly, but there's always a message in the voice. One Wednesday, about 2 months ago, I was playing chess with Lewis, and I was very tired after a very bad night. I tried to play chess and I didn't think of Polly, but Lewis suddenly remembered the name Polly and spoke to me during the game. "William," Lewis said, "I was in the bookshop the other day and I was looking at your books. They're filled with Wily stories. I remember once, about 5 years ago, you spoke to me about a new character. You called this character Polly. I've never forgotten his name because it's a strange name. And I don't like the name, but I always remember it. I bought all your books from the last 5 years and took them home. I read them all and enjoyed them, but I didn't find this character, Polly, in any of them." My face was white. Polly was knocking hard on the floor of the room above. I could hear it, but Lewis couldn't. In the end, I said, "Yes, Lewis. I didn't use that character in my story. I changed the story." "Why?" Lewis asked. "I remember he was an entertaining character, good and evil at the same time." "No," I shouted, "he's evil. Evil and only evil." The knock on the floor above was louder and louder. It was like a wild dance. I heard the message and stopped shouting. "I'm sorry," I said in a quiet voice. "No, I didn't use that character." I couldn't say the name Polly. We continued to play chess. The game ended in the usual way. Lewis said, "You can't move anywhere," and I lost. Lewis said goodnight and left. That night, Polly really punished me. He pushed me, kicked me, and hit me. The funny thing is, you can never see any signs of this punishment on my body. I am often in great pain, but it never shows on my body. Then I made my fourth important discovery. Polly didn't like Lewis. He didn't want him to come to my house. He wanted to be alone with me all the time. The games on Tuesday nights, the nights before Lewis came, were always very, very bad. I don't enjoy Tuesday evenings now. I'm afraid of Tuesday's night. And it's Tuesday today. And that was the end of Chapter 5, Good Games and Bad Games. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.